period of the race, so he had to pass one without it. And that is how big it is in NASCAR and how big of a no-no. So I'm going to keep using that phrase, but that's the best way to put it. I mean, it is extremely intolerable. Intolerable. There we go.
Tongue-tied.
Yeah.
It is not good, and now have you heard Mayfield? I'm sure you've heard Mayfield's story.
Yeah, Mayfield comes out and says it was a mixture of over-the-counter and prescription medicine, which is funny because the guy running the drug test says there is no way that can work.
I was bringing that up. I hope you said that the researchers and the people they asked actually said that that's not possible, which makes me nervous that he legitimately was.
Honestly, I would not, and at the risk of being a little crass talking about illegal drugs, my opinion is it was probably some sort of amphetamine or cocaine. And the reason I say that is because he is now a team owner. He was not a team owner until the beginning of the season. He's probably experiencing lack of sleep. He's probably waking up early, going to bed late. He probably felt he needed something to keep himself going through the day.
And that is just complete, of course, speculation.
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know what he took. They won't tell us. I wouldn't be surprised if one day we found out, but we don't know right now. That is my speculation because that's the only thing I can think of. When you say something like a prescription plus over-the-counter medication cannot cause this, that to me says we're talking harder than something odd. We do know that's not alcohol. They said that it was not an alcohol offense, so take that for what you will. I wasn't really concerned it was, to be completely honest with you.
It damages. I like Jeremy Mayfield. I just hope that he deals with whatever he needs to deal with. And NASCAR, I heard, has opened the door for him to come back someday.
Oh yeah, well that's why it's not a specified length of time. It's always like it was like with Shane Meal when he had his problems.
Oh goodness, I haven't heard that name in years.
Yeah, because he
was a pretty big prospect for a while.
Yeah, he was. But the thing about it is, they give you a chance. They tell you what you have to do, and then you can, if you do it, then you're welcome back. The Shane Meal story, for those of you who don't know, because it was several years ago, he was coming up through the ranks, son of Steve Meal, who used to be a crew chief in the 1990s. A lot of talent, very good driver, and he was going to be potentially the third driver at DEI. It was going to be
at the time it would have been junior.
I think at the time it might have been Junior Waltrip and him.
Yeah.
And it was gonna be Junior Michael Waltrip and him.
Because he would have been in the one.
Yeah. And he came up and he failed a drug test and they sent him away. He did everything he needed to. He came back. And NASCAR's policy at the time was 3 strikes and you're out, I think. I think it might still be. And so that was strike one. And he was in the Busch Series and he was in a very good position. And he failed another drug test within 3 months of being back. And he got sent away again. And while he was gone, he failed a third time, and he's now banned for life. And actually, I noticed he's actually, I think, racing Hooters Pro Cup right now.
Is he?
I think that's. I think I know. I was flipping through the channels and I saw them on, and I saw his name on the screen.
It's just a shame. It is a serious problem, and
but it brings it back to Mayfield. That's what Mayfield's dealing with now. If Mayfield might not be back in the car by the end of the year, or not even next year, and that's. I mean, is he throwing away his career like Shane Meal was? Not necessarily. Mayfield's almost 40 now, and he hasn't had a decent ride in years since he burnt the bridge with Evernham. He probably is done, but it's still a shame, and it's still shocking that it's finally come to NASCAR. Because now we're talking about with Manny Ramirez, who the difference is here is that, first of all, Manny Ramirez, it's probably not an illegal narcotic so much as it is probably a performance enhancer. And not only that, it's not a shock so much as it's like, no, who's left, He's probably every time this happens, I want to say, well, that's the last big name.
And then, Because, what's interesting is with Manny Ramirez, at least from my view, and some of the people that are big baseball fans that I'm close with, he was always, he's goofy, he's kind of an egotistical person, but you never really thought about it. He was like, no, Manny's pretty clean. I wouldn't.
The thing about Manny that everybody always said was Manny's too stupid to do the whole steroid cycle thing. They always thought that he was too much of an idiot to take it and have to do the the cycle where he takes it and weans off for a couple weeks and goes back on and everything. And I think Manny gets a bad rap. I don't think he's an idiot, to be completely honest with you.
It's a shame, and he is, baseball just changed their policy. Their first offense used to be 15 games.
Yeah.
Now it's 50.
Well, you're trying to scare everybody out of having to do it. You don't want people to do it. and it'll never work as long as that people still consider the key to being successful in a sport is taking performance enhancers.
Yeah. For example, like I know for me, I would. For me, if I were to be a professional baseball player, I would definitely need to bulk up a little bit and whatnot. And I would, for me, in my mind, it would be, well, it's nothing is worth losing the chance to play 50 games. Not just that, I wouldn't do it anyway, but that I get your point of, I mean, that's not the only reason for the suspensions. Part of it is we don't want, drugged up players in our game. It's just, I agree with what you said about it's sort of a scare tactic, and I agree with what you said about it's scary that it's moving the lines into NASCAR into a cup driver.
Yeah, well, I think that's the real interesting comparison here. As a baseball fan, it's easy to be jaded about the whole thing because I mean, who hasn't been caught at this point? Who I should rephrase that. Have there been any well-known players that have not been caught?
And the one that you really hope, doesn't ever come out is Albert Pujols. I really hope not.
I guess he is the last one, isn't he? I mean,
and I'm sure you would agree, as even a casual fan, I really hope that he is clean. But nothing surprises you anymore.
I don't even care anymore. Oh well. I'm not one of those guys that says, well, let everybody take it because everybody's taking it. I'm not one of those people. I'm not that bad, but I mean, a guy I used to have so much respect for was Roger Clemens. I really did. I thought it was great what he was doing at the end of his career, and I feel like a fool for believing that it was clean. I still do love Sammy Sosa. Sammy can't do anything wrong in my eyes, but I mean, we're sure that he did it. We're sure that McGuire did it. We know Palmeiro did. We're pretty sure that the Clemens did. We're pretty sure that Schmans did.
Schmans did. We know Schmerod. We know Schmerod did.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't? At this point, who hasn't? And I don't really. I mean, now Manny has. I mean, what's left? David Ortiz.
That's a good point,
even then, it's like,
even though I think Albert Pujols would be the last one.
And here's the thing about David Ortiz too. It's kind of like, would he get caught these days? No, because he obviously quit years ago because he sucks now.
It's just it's a shame, and I'm sure you would agree that if it really is some sort of hard drug or something, I hope that he deals with what he needs to.
Yeah, and for Mayfield's sake, I hope he's not really addicted. I hope it's just he's dabbling. I hope it doesn't seem
because he's been suspended from owning too.
Yeah, well, what else can he do? He's gonna have to send his wife to the track and have a Sprint phone or something outside the track. Yeah, tell him to do this. I mean, and his organization was barely keeping afloat as it was.
Yeah, I mean, JJ Yaley's driving this weekend. You heard that, right?
Yeah, woohoo! I like JJ. JJ's a really nice guy, but
I heard part of a story on this, but just to put the pin in it.
Right.
Who is going to be the official owner? His wife?
I think so. Yeah.
And they just have to fill out the paperwork. That's what I heard.
She might already be on the owner's list as being the official owner. A lot of times, like Delana Harvick is the official owner of Kevin
KHI,
Harvick.
Yeah.
Even though Kevin's in charge just as much as she is. I mean, they're partners.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Well, Chris, this is bumming me out. Can we get some good baseball news?
Well, that was pretty much my baseball news. The good thing, the amazing thing though, and I almost forgot this just a second ago, but I'm glad I brought it up. Okay, we've talked before about the Washington Nationals.
Did we? I don't remember.
A few weeks ago, the only reason we brought them up is because their names were spelled wrong on the jersey. Remember that?
Yes, vaguely.
Their third baseman, Ryan Zimmerman, is on a 30-game hit streak.
That's cool.
That is, he's 4 away from the longest third baseman streak ever. I'm just, good for. This is what I love about baseball is there can be very, very terrible, not so good teams like the lowly Washington Nationals that have a player that, I mean, it's not about the player, but the fact that he is giving me a reason to care about the Nationals, though I've always liked the Nationals. I'm just really happy for him. And the all-time streak.
Wait, I thought you were a Cubs fan.
I am.
So why do you care about the Nationals then?
I just like them. I've always liked them since they came to Washington.
Oh, that's weird.
No, I know it's random. They're not like a favorite team. It's just that I don't like to see nobody. I don't want to see the Nationals struggle and be the laughingstock.
I could care less. Let them be the somebody's got to be the laughingstock.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, like last year, I should have felt bad for the Lions, but I didn't. It was funny.
Yeah, okay, that was funny, but it's just
I'm gonna laugh at somebody. Might as well be them.
It's good. It's good that he's on that streak, and the all-time streak is 56. We'll see if he gets there.
Ooh, that's still a lot to go. I don't know, man. I don't really believe it. I don't think so. By the way, why didn't you tell me that the Royals aren't